All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Amir Faroki, Chair of the City Council Transportation Committee. Welcome to the August 24th, 2022 meeting of the Atlanta City Council's Transportation Committee. I'm joined by council members Waits, Dozier, Westmoreland, and Wan. We have a quorum. Our first item is to adopt the agenda. Can I have a motion to adopt? Motion by Wan, second by Westmoreland. Please open the vote.
One moment.
Waits says aye.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The agenda has been adopted.
Our next item is to approve the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? So motion by Dozier, second by Wan. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 5 yeas, 0 nays. The minutes have been approved.
We will now move to public comment. Do we have anyone signed up today to speak?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We have Mona Muhammad.
Ms. Muhammad, the floor is yours. You have 3 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Sorry.
2 minutes. Good morning, members of council. My name is Mona Muhammad, and many of you guys should be familiar with my face by now because for many of this year, I have been coming in talking about the More Martyr Project, which was introduced to me earlier this year at the town hall meeting at Mount Carmel. What I've been really requesting and was help from City Council before MARTA made their decision, which they've already have for us. But it's really to see an economical growth for my community that I have not seen my whole life. And from my father's understanding, it's been over 50 years that the community has been neglected, and that this is the perfect chance to bring change to my community with this public transportation project. Council must support the people, and the people that I've seen come here besides myself and many of the NPUs have requested LRT for the community. But again, MARTA went with their locally preferred alternative, which is, to my understanding, their preferred alternative of Bus Rapid. I talked about how before they made their decision that the yard signs in my community compared to other communities were hidden, unable to read what the information was. And when I said it to MARTA, it did shake the table. And I hope that you guys understand that they know that they did wrong with their yard signs. Ours were hidden, theirs weren't. Theirs were visible, ours weren't. We could not even get the information to the people of the community who mattered the most because they will be affected by this. Clifton is also changing their route to go into a community that's under poverty, so that will give them a better chance to getting the grant. But yet my community qualifies up and down, but yet they didn't tell us that we qualify for many grants. At the Clifton corridor, they were told not to look at the cheaper options like Campbellton. At the Clifton corridor, they asked a question saying that, are you guys looking at Bus Rapid like Campbellton Road because it's cheaper? MARTA's team stood up and said, oh, get cheaper out of your vocabulary. That's not what we're doing for you guys. But yet that's what we were constantly told on Campbellton Road. And my community doesn't even have the opportunity to make an educated guess of which option is better for them, because every time it was coming to them, letting them know that here's Bus Rapid, it's cheaper, this is what you guys are going to get because you guys are getting the cheaper option and because the city wants to make sure that they're spending the $300 million. This is what you're getting, not telling us what LRT does better than BRT. It's literally just BRT and that's it, but yet they've made the decision for us. Those in your position actually fought for LRT for Campbellton Road many years before while I was still in school, but yet now that they've made their decision, you guys didn't even put up a fight to continue fighting for it. And I am still asking for help from you guys because it's your job, and I hope that we can actually move Campbellton forward with this project. Thank you guys so much, and I hope I can get a meeting with Jason Dozier, Marcy Overstreet, and the others that are not here, but I hope to speak with you afterwards.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jared Samples.
My name is Jared Samples. I'm here representing Freedman Shoes for item number, I guess under resolutions, item number 3, resolution for an encroachment for a sign to be placed at the corner of Mitchell Street and Forsyth at the old Freedman building. I also wanted to just provide some additional information with some illustrations about what the sign would look like. I don't think it's a part of the legislation. I want to share that with the council members for their consideration during the debate. And ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Samples. I will recognize Mr. Samples as a former member of this body, so welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Our next speaker is Mr. Philip Kelly.
Good morning, council members. I'm coming from the Grant Park Neighborhood Transportation Committee. We've been having some issues accessing information that we really think should be public information. We don't know the best way to go about it. We did try to put in a public open records request, but I was not aware of the costs associated with it. Wondering if the Transportation Committee can help us access some of this information. So first off, we're looking at the T-SPLOST that's coming up, and we understand there might be a list coming forward to the public, but specifically we know sidewalks across the city are in disrepair or missing, and we understand that some of the T-SPLOST money will go towards fixing some of those sidewalks. In our neighborhood, we do want to fundraise to try and help some areas that the city won't focus on, and so we're wondering if we can get access to what sidewalks the city will fix so that we can see where we can focus our efforts for grants and fundraising from property owners. On top of that, we're doing a lot of work around Boulevard Southeast, which is supposed to be a complete streets. This is money that's come from 3 different sources, and now we have enough money for the actual redesign. However, since January of 2021, when we had a city public input meeting, the city has not come back to us with any information about how they've taken our input into account. And the project manager said that there is no other community input. So we don't know if the city is taking into account our public comment, and then we also are being told there is no other chance for public comment. So we're a little concerned because we don't know if the city is recognizing our input, and we're worried that this might be happening in other areas. So we really want to see Southeast Boulevard's complete street connect to the Northeast Boulevard and the Monroe complete street. But if you go to those city websites, you won't actually see any design renderings for Boulevard Northeast and Monroe. For the Southeast Boulevard, you'll see one rendering, and again, this was presented to the city, or presented to the community, and never revised from any community input. So we would really like to have access to other alternatives that the city has reviewed, other than the one that they proposed at the January 2021 community meeting for Southeast Boulevard. But we also want to see what alternatives they are considering for Northeast Boulevard in Monroe to make sure that we are building a whole system of bike lanes and protected paths for other users, scooters. So we're just wondering if this the committee could help us with some of that information access. And as another point of data would be crash data, traffic crash data. Would like to see different patterns in our neighborhood, again, to see where we should be advocating for safety improvements. Wondering if the Transportation Committee can help us access that as well. The last thing that I think would be really helpful, the Transportation Committee could clarify, there's an ordinance saying property owners are responsible for sidewalks, and there's an ADA lawsuit that says the city is responsible. And a lot of people come to me and say, hey, what do I do as a property owner? Are we waiting for the city to come fix it? Are we supposed to do it? So if the committee could help clarify some of that going forward, if there is any nuance that can be clarified so that we can move forward as a community in fixing our sidewalks. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I move on, let me speak and I'll turn it to you, Councilmember Waits. With respect to T-SPLOST and infrastructure bond funds, each district council member has about $3 million in discretionary funds, about half of which can be used for horizontal projects like sidewalks. So I would encourage you to reach out to Councilmember Winston and kind of look at where there may be gaps and what the city is planning to do versus what's needed in your neighborhood and other neighborhoods in District 1. And then on the last bit, yes, the city ordinance does technically require adjacent property owners to maintain sidewalks. You'll find, and maybe the city lawyers will advise me not to say this, that it's rarely enforced. And it has created an interesting kind of black hole of sorts when it comes to sidewalk maintenance. The city, when it has funds, will sometimes fix sidewalks. Other times, homeowners, if they're of means, fix it themselves. You know, you see this kind of hodgepodge across the city, which creates all sorts of equity issues. But if there are sidewalks that are in need of repair, please let your council member know and ATL DOT know. And there's a long list that sidewalks need repair, they'll kind of get in the pipeline and hopefully get fixed. Yeah. Councilmember Waits.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to be CC'd on the list when you send that to the council member. And also, sir, there were a number of things that he asked for in terms of crash data. I'd like to request that information as well from DOT.
Yep. Noted, and we'll confirm with ATL DOT as well. All right. We have one report today from our Airport Department of Aviation. As they come forward, Mr. Baydari, feel free to come forward. I'll note, and we have no ARC report today. It's on the agenda, but there's no ARC report. Before Mr. Baydari starts, I will say to the committee and to the public, one thing I'd like to start doing, maybe not every meeting, but some meetings, is invite a guest speaker for a short presentation on something related to the future of transportation. You know, we talk a lot about what currently exists today and how we should repair the ills of yesterday, but this is a fast-moving space, and looking at everything from what the future of work means for infrastructure and parking and transportation to what the rise in e-bikes means for how we think about our streets and the space to new technologies that may be emerging that we should be preparing for. So if you, as a member of the public or a member of the committee, have an idea that you'd like us to hear from someone about as we think about transportation policy, just reach out to me and we'll kind of put it in the pipeline and find the right speaker to come join us. So I'll put that out there as we look toward the rest of the year and into 2023. Mr. Baydari, welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Councilmember B.B. Adari, Airport General Manager. And this will be our second quarter, Department of Aviation second quarter status update. You will advance it, right? Okay. Of course, for us to do what we do on a daily basis, we must have a vision, mission, and a set of core value. The vision is to provide efficiency and exceptional customer service, and our mission is to connect the community to the world on a global stage. Foremost of our core value is I care, integrity. Integrity is non-negotiable in the Department of Aviation. Our strategic plan sits on three pillars: people, purpose, performance. Today, I will concentrate on employees and customers, and then on our purpose, our certification, and then performance. A couple of projects I will talk about: Concourse D widening and our financial fiscal year 2022 financial closeout. People. We are making good stride in filling vacancies, but we also see a lot of people leaving the department, moving on to other airport in the industry for promotional opportunities or career progression. And so it's a little bit alarming to us, but that's the trend in the industry right now. We're getting people from other airport, and they're taking some from our airport. Nothing big, but we're doing well in this area. Where we do have gaps, we use overtime and consultant help to ensure that we're not missing anything per our federal regulatory requirements. Community engagement, talk a lot about that. A couple of things that we want to focus on here is we participate in Earth Day, of course, a diversity outreach program, and human traffic summit awareness in this last quarter. Very, very fruitful community engagement with our partners out in the communities out there. We had, this last quarter, we held a second job fair, attract a lot of vendors and job seekers with an end result of nearly 650 new hires, on-the-spot hires by employers that attended the job fair or participated in the job fair. Our purpose, as I mentioned, our regulatory certification. Every year we have to go through two extensive federal audits to ensure that we meet all compliance. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of items that we have to be in compliance with before they reissue our operating certificate. Both of our audits were highly successful this year, and so I'm happy to report that the aviation team have done a fantastic job in ensuring that we retain our operating certificate. Operational activities. A couple of things I want to highlight here is 183,000 flight operations the second quarter of this year, bringing us up to a total of 350,000 flight operations for the first half of the year, moving nearly 25 million passengers in the second quarter, with a total of nearly 45 million passengers moving through our airport in the first half of the year. Massive number of people coming through the airport. Look at our social engagement. A lot of people are following us. 77 million people followed us on our social media platform. A total of 146 million engagement in the first 6 months of the year. 911 call. We do handle a lot of 911 calls that is airport related, coming through our own dispatch center. 33,000 in the second quarter, 65,000 for the first 6 months. And then employee badging process. Lots of activity there. Nearly 500 employees a day that we're seeing, or 500 transactions per day that we're handling in our badging section. Performance, financial health. This is a good story. The good story is our stewardship. We came in at about nearly $65 million over our forecasted budget, 21% above budget. So very strong financial performance, and that is because of the resurgence of traffic coming back the second half of 2021 and the first half of 2022. But also our stewardship and cost containment. We're 13% below our budgeted expense. So both sides of the slide tells a good story on the team stewardship at the airport. So financially, we are in strong financial health. Our economic opportunities out there in terms of our capital program. We completed $284 million worth of capital construction invoices paid in the first 6 months. Our planned activity was around $322 million. So we were about $38 million under our planned activity. But there's a couple of reasons for that. One is logistical disruption, some extension due to weather and other unforeseen conditions. So we're not too concerned about it. We are on track to make up some of that variance in the second half of the year. Infrastructure that we're looking at that we'll be occupying for the rest of this year, nearly $500 million worth of completed projects that we are looking at between now and December for beneficial occupancy. So a lot of activities you will see in the second half of this year. This is a culmination of the multi-year project that we have been doing. One that will be highly visible to the general public is Concourse T 5-Gate North Extension. We'll be opening that up December. And then Fire Station 32 to increase our efficiency in 911 response time for EMS, and of course our certification requirement for aircraft that are coming in with in an emergency situation. The last time we met, I gave you an update on our overall CIP performance update, and Councilmember Waite asked for some more data. I think we provided that data. But if you look at the slide here, we have over 282 female minority business, small businesses, and disadvantaged business in our overall participation of our CIP program. Looking at about $100 million a year that we paid in participation rates, so significant. I think Atlanta Airport is one of the few airports that could put this type of success out there. A lot of other airports is looking at us at how do we do this? How are we managed to have such a high participation rate in our program? And that's because of legacy. We have a historical precedence what we're doing, and we're continuing with that precedence. I put this slide up here because I just said we're going to open up $500 million worth of capital program beneficial occupancy in the next 6 months. But this is what this legislative body has been helping us over the last 6 months. All of this legislation that came through you all have been approved. This is probably about $1.8 billion worth of legislation in the last 6 months. So you're doing a massive amount of work. You're doing a lot of work if you're not aware of it. And so I just personally want to thank you all for the support that you're giving to us. not only support, but making sure that we're very transparent in what we do. Awards, two things that I want to highlight here is, again, we retained the world's busiest passenger and operations airport in calendar year 2021, and then our sustainability program in the type of LEED certification that we're being awarded with. And lastly, this year we'll be heading to, or next week, one of my team members is heading to Poland to receive the #1 customer service award for airport over $40 million for the region that we serve. Look ahead. So a few months ago, we had extensive discussion on our DOP process. Been working with our new CPO and his entire team. We had completed 4 work sessions. We will be hosting the final work session next Tuesday to come up with recommendations to strengthen the current process that we have in place. We have heard you guys loud and clear. The CPO is very amenable, very collaborative, and we have jointly worked together with a number of stakeholders. So I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. We will be meeting next week. We'll put it all together with action register and deliveries, short, midterm, and long-term delivery to strengthen our procurement process here. So thank you all very much for your input, and I want to thank the CPO and the administration for their support in this work that has been done. Got a number of legislation. This is just a snapshot of legislation that will be coming to this body. But more importantly, as we're looking at the DNC 2025 football championship game and 2026 FIFA, we need to strengthen our distributed antenna system for cell phone coverage and radio coverage. That's about $130 million. Yesterday, I met with the carriers. They're all on board with that. So lots of things coming down the pike here for this body. But more importantly, as we start phase 2 of our concession program, you will hear me talk a little bit more about that. Still facing some challenges with inflation, and we talked a little bit the last time I was here, and supply chain disruption and the availability of contractors. So still working through that, having some impact, but it's not stopping us from our planned activities. Looking ahead, is if you haven't done so already, council member, I will urge you to do that like today, once we finish here. Register for the 5K and the 5th runway. Once in a lifetime opportunity, and I expect to see all of you out there. And if you said you're not going to be ready, be assured that I will have stale coffee ready for all of you. So it will boost that energy. So please help us participate. Make this one of the best in the history of the Mayor's 5K and the runway. This is a good cause. And finally, the champions are here. Atlanta is home to the champions, right? So we're getting ready for the football championship in 2025. And, of course, FIFA. FIFA is massive. And next year, if Atlanta is awarded a host city for the semifinal, if you thought Super Bowl 53 was big, this is going to be 5 times bigger than Super Bowl 53. So we have to be ready today in preparation for tomorrow. So I told the staff, the future is now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baydari. I will note belatedly we've been joined by Councilmember Lewis and Councilmember Overstreet. Welcome. I see Councilmember Juan in the queue. Before I turn to him, I have one quick question. You mentioned the badging process, the volume of badges you all are processing for employees of the airport, of third-party concessionaires, et cetera, all the folks. There's a lot of folks who work at it. It's a city within a city, right? And there's a lot that happens there, as evidenced by your report. I've heard some frustration about the speed of badging. Can you talk a little bit about what the airport's doing to bring that speed down so that when folks are hired, they're not waiting multiple weeks to be able to start their job at the airport?
So we have done forensic analysis, and normally when you're hired, you make an appointment, and that could be days or it could be a couple of weeks out to come and get a badge. And what the employers are telling us, they can't wait a week or 2 or 3 weeks for the employee to come get badging. So we have coordinated with our federal partners and put in place a temporary solution. So the minute you're hired, within 36 hours, we will issue, there are some requirement, credential validation and stuff like that, but we expect it will take 36 to no more than 72 hours to do all of that, and we will issue you a temporary access pass to start working at the airport, but you must have done the fingerprint and everything else while you're waiting for your fingerprint to clear. So instead of a couple of weeks or 3 weeks out down the road to get badging, we will start your employment within 36 to 72 hours.
Great. Are there any staffing challenges on your side for processing all these, or you're fully staffed up to manage that?
I onboard some temporary staffing so we could extend our hours. Instead from 8 to 5, we're going from 7 to 7, and we will accommodate Saturday processing for employers that have a group of people that needed a special time, or we will accommodate them on either prior to 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m. So we have significantly extended our hours using some temporary staffing that eventually will convert to full FTEs.
Thank you. Councilmember Juan.
Thank you, Chair Faroki. Want to first just publicly thank you, as we were talking about before the meeting started, for the partnership collaboration that the airport provided in, I guess it was Monday's events with the capture of the alleged shooter in Midtown. So I want to thank you for y'all's role in that, first and foremost. Wanted to dive a little bit into the numbers, the financial information. So let's talk about the revenue first. 21% above budget is fantastic. As we dive into those numbers a little bit more, though, are we seeing, what sort of trends are we seeing in the tea leaves? I understand that while overall traffic is up, it's different sectors are behaving or acting a little differently. Business travel is not quite back yet. There's a lot of pent-up leisure travel, and then international travel is still not back yet. Is that a fair assessment of what's happening?
So there are 3 areas in our major revenue collection, right? Rental car, we have seen a drastic increase in rental car because there's increasing demand. The price have gone up for that, and so our revenue collection is a little bit higher. Parking. Our parking product are sold out on a regular basis. So there is strong demand for parking, people coming to the airport. And then the third aspect is concessions. Although we did not, or still today we do not have 100% of our concessionaires open, those that are open, there's extremely strong demand for goods and services, right? On international travel, we have seen a robust increase in international travel in Mexico, from Mexico, Latin and South America, and the deep throes of South America, and that is because of the agreement between airlines. Partnership with LATAM and Delta is bringing more of the South American traffic to us, and the Caribbean. Europe had started before the war. We saw a little taper up, but it's getting healthy. Our lagging measurement in international travel is the Asian continent and Africa. So we're focused on those two continents right now. And domestic, we are doing exceptionally well. We are at about 85 to 90% domestic. And the ironic thing about domestic travel is we have seen a surge of business travelers. So business have climbed to about 85%. And the reason of that is look at the strength of the Atlanta region economy over the last 2 years. So we all thought virtuality will take over in-person meeting. But if you're going to close a deal, I don't want to look at you on a TV monitor. I want to look at you in the eyes and ink that deal. So a lot of business travelers are going back to meet their client or going out to seek new businesses out there.
That's great to hear. I mean, obviously, when you're 21% above, I mean, it's strength, good strength probably in all. But I am curious, or will remain curious, as to if the pandemic, technology, new ways of doing business will structurally change. But it sounds like we're a lot of the fundamentals are still there and very solid.
The fundamentals are still there, but what we're looking at is the use of technology and other methodology to increase or to solidify our efficiency as we continue to grow. Your parking, we want touchless. Even in the concession, mobile app ordering, touchless payment and so on, instead of having to stand in a line, get to the cashier or get to the ordering, front of the ordering line, then order, then go over to the cashier. We want all of those transactions to be done seamlessly, so you walk up to the concession and you're just grabbing your food and move on. If you sit in a restaurant, you don't even have to talk to a waiter or waitress. Just do everything on a mobile app, and the only thing the waiter and waitress is delivering your food and replenish your coffee or your drinks.
On the expense side, 13% below budget, how much of that is potentially just deferred expenses? I mean, it's one thing to be under budget because we have been more frugal, but it's another just to simply hold off on expenses and then punt it to the next period.
So it was mostly labor costs. We had to reduce our workforce, our contract workforce. We didn't need as much security guard and so on and so forth. So it's not deferred. It's just a one-time savings.
Good. That's encouraging to hear as well. The hotel, there was some news about the hotel project getting put on pause a couple weeks ago. Is there any additional information that you can share about that?
So the agreement provide for the hotel proponent to cancel in July. They exercise that option in the agreement, so the hotel deal is canceled. I have enlisted consultant help now that starting in July have started this process to evaluate the highest and best use for that property for future development.
Yeah, please keep us posted on that. I think, I'm glad that you're taking a look at it before just making the automatic knee-jerk decision to just go out again and do the same thing. So
now we're going to do the due diligence and do the analysis.
And the final thing I'll say is that I think Councilmember Westmoreland and I are signing up for the 5K during this meeting. I encourage other colleagues to do it. Y'all, it's flat. It's flat. It's a great time qualifier for the Peachtree, so do it.
So there are 6 of you sitting over there, so that's only like,
Yeah, thank you, B. Always a great report.
The rest of us are paying attention to your report. I kid. Councilmember Lewis.
Thank you, and I will be attending the 5K as well. I think
that's 3 of 6.
I try to do every single one that's in my district, and that is in my district, so I would definitely be there. Thank you for. I want to ask you a couple of questions about HR, about your HR department, because I saw you bring on students this summer at a record pace, and now even the adjusting to bringing in someone on the weekends. Is your department the only department that's able to do this, or how are you able to now hire weekend and extend hours? How are you able to be that flexible?
So the way our HR is structured, my HR director at the airport reports to the HR commissioner or through that chain of command. We have a direct working relationship, but the working relationship 100% of our focus is in supporting the airport. So it's not split funded or it's not split job, and then her entire team. And so their job is 100% is focused on the airport, and there's the integration of the airport staff with our HR department out there at the airport that we're able to work together to get some of these initiatives implemented very, very quickly.
And I heard Councilmember Faruqi mention that people are having issues coming on in 2 weeks. What's your average time to bring a person on to work? Because I haven't heard anything, and I'm getting people hired, and it's taking me 6 months sometimes in the city of Atlanta.
So what the chair was referring to is our badging process. Okay, that's totally separate from the recruitment process. So we have a SLA that is in place. I can't remember the exact time. I think it's about 60 days from the time we post the position. And it depends on the posting. If we post it for 30 days or 2 weeks, depending on the posting, so that timeline may adjust a little bit. But it's incumbent upon my team to, once I get those resumes, to start the interview process and select, make offer. Our HR team at the airport is very nimble, and so they work very, very well with the rest of the department.
And it's just able to be flexible. I'm just thinking about different departments with their own HR staff. So your HR staff is able to be flexible flexible because you're in your department?
Yes, well, our HR staff, again, remember, is an arm of the Commissioner of HR, right? So it's a consolidated department, but those folks are assigned to the airport to support the airport, and we pay for that entire resource.
And the last question I had was, thank you for bringing your entire leadership team here. I appreciate the Hartsfield job. I don't know how y'all are working and running anything right now, but I want to say I appreciate seeing you every time, every single Wednesday coming in with the entire team, which means you're laser focused on things going on. And I've seen you adjust in different ways to the new council and the things we want. So I appreciate you on that.
Work hours, I take our lead from the mayor. He have no set work hours. I think he work about 400 hours a week. And so that's the same expectation I have from my senior leadership team. No, but in all seriousness, we don't have set work hours, but they work long hours because the scope is so big, and they're well rewarded. I give them Saturday and Sundays off sometimes.
And welcome back, Miss Anita. I'm happy to see you back.
Councilmember Overstreet.
Thank you, Chair. Hello, good to see you.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
know I came in halfway through your presentation, but I did catch up, and always exemplary, always.
Thank you.
It is something that we should share with everyone that comes before us to present, because it has 20 slides that are chock full of information, extremely substantive, and you almost never, ever, ever get to see 6 months in review also. 6 months ahead also. And you just always keep us ahead of the game, and that's why your team is here. Because you do prioritize making sure that we know where you are with everything. You're better than a Domino's pizza tracker.
Well, it's important because I need your support.
That's right. And so I want to also let you know that it's reciprocated. When I came to you all last year about the badging situation, and it may have been the year before that and last year, both times you changed the way you were doing things to accommodate what my ask was. And this time, when I was asking for the temporary badging, you all did the research. You said, give us about 48 hours to look into everything, and you did. And you said, now give us about 1 week to come to you with priorities and see if we're on the same page. And we were. And then you all implemented that with extreme, laser focus on making sure we were abiding by the guidelines from the federal level. And so I remember all of that really clearly. And you all got us back on track at the airport, going from a ghost town to where we are today, with hiring people at an extremely alarming rate. It was really high. And you were getting them on with the new process that you had just put in place. And I just appreciate that about you all. You all are always on point. So I know that this is just a praise-a-thon, but I just want to, give you your roses when they're deserved, because I truly trust your judgment, because you show your data. You show us where we're going in color, and I appreciate that. This always thrills me, and your words and accessibility make a difference too. So thank you for the whole team, and just thank you. I don't have a question because they're so accessible. I never am sitting around not understanding where we are with anything. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and I really truly appreciate those kind words. But if you look at our mission, the very first few words says a team of one. And so we have changed the culture, being silos or individual, to a team of one. So we're moving the enterprise in one direction with one body. And so all the credit goes to the men and women of that enterprise.
Oh, and so I just looked at my calendar. I'm not able this October 8th.
We could change it. Not the date of the rate, your calendar. come on, I got to bet. I want to see how many city council members I want to see how many of the legislative folks will beat our mayor this year. So I don't think any of them stand a chance. So my money is really, I think I am. Yeah.
As long as he's in a boot, he's going to lose to every one of us.
Listen, so I have fire truck and I have first responder vehicle that if I have to carry him in those things to the finish line so that he's number one, we'll do that. So.
Thank you, Mr. Bayadari, and to the airport team. Appreciate your presence and your report. That concludes our reports today. To the committee will now move to items for first read.
Section G, ordinance of first reading, item number 1, 2020-1686. An ordinance by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to enter into an airport use and lease agreement with Southern Airways Express LLC at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport for use of the airfield and the Central Passenger Terminal Complex for an initial term of 5 years beginning retroactively as of June 1st, 2022, with options to renew for successive terms of 5 years each through June 30th, 2036, and for other purposes.
Section G? Sorry, L, I. Yeah.
Section I, ordinance for second reading, item number 2, 2020-1670, an ordinance by Councilmember Amir Faroki ratifying the City of Atlanta's acceptance of a donation of pro bono services from the Georgia Power Company in the form of an executive on loan to assist the Atlanta Department of Transportation with project management, strategic planning, and leveraging resources to complete capital projects for a period not to exceed 120 days, authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into any necessary agreements in connection with the donation of these pro bono services on behalf of the City of Atlanta and for other purposes.
I'm not sure if anyone from the administration is here to talk about this, but in short, this is a paper to allow for some pro bono corporate assistance from Georgia Power. Commissioner, would you like to speak to it briefly?
Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, we're very excited that we're able to bring on a very well-seasoned expert to help us. The department is about coming up on its third birthday, and it's always good to do a look back and a look ahead to make sure that we're doing things in the best way possible, and this resource will help us do that very efficiently.
Great. Again, this is a 120-day stint corporate loan to ATL DOT. Councilmember Juan, you have a thank you. Motion by Juan, second by Lewis. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. This also is a dual referral and will be referred to today's FEC meeting. Item number 3, 2020-1671, an ordinance by Councilmember Mary Norwood authorizing the Chief Financial Officer or his designee to amend the fiscal year 2023 General Government Capital Overlay Fund budget on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation by transferring between accounts the sum of $802,000.00 in transportation impact fees for the Habersham Road and Valley Road intersection improvement projects and for other purposes, and the department recommends that this item be held.
Thank you. Motion to hold by Juan, second by Lewis. Please open the vote on the motion to hold.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is held. Item number 4, 2020-1677, an ordinance by Councilmember Jason Dozier authorizing the City of Atlanta to acquire certain real property located in land lot 77 of the 14th District, Fulton County, Georgia, tax parcel ID 1477676, and Fairley Street from the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority in exchange for conveying certain real property rights associated with property located in land lot 77 of the 14th District, Fulton County, Georgia, tax parcel ID 1477676, authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the city to execute all documents necessary to effectuate the exchange and for other purposes.
Just move approval.
Motion approved by Dozier, second by Juan. Please open the vote.
I'll just clarify just for the public's awareness. This is a land swap is the terminology, I think is correct, tied to future development that the city's pushing in South Downtown.
Got a motion by Dozier, second by Juan.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. This item is also a due referral and be referred to today's FEC meeting. This takes us to resolutions, section J, item number 5, 22R4172, a resolution by Councilmember Alex Juan requesting the mayor or his designee to install a pedestrian crosswalk connecting Morningside Village Shopping Mall at 1402 North Highland Avenue Northeast and 1397 North Highland Avenue Northeast, specifically between the Family Dog and NOAX and for other purposes.
Vote. Yep. Motion to approve by Juan, second by Overstreet. Please open the vote on this crosswalk request.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Mr. Chair, the next items we have on our agenda are always stops. Can we jump to item number 15 to amend? It corrects minor language in the caption.
Please do.
Item number 15, 22R, 4189, a resolution by Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari requesting the mayor or his designee to make the intersections of Stokeswood Avenue Southeast and Pendleton Street Southeast an always stop control intersection, to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at intersections and for other purposes. And the amendment just makes a change in the caption.
Can you explain what that amendment is, or what the caption change is?
The amendment changes the word authorized to request.
I will move to amend as stated. Second by Juan. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is amended. And now we're going to take items 6, 8, 13, 14, and 15 together as a block. These are all legislative items for always stops. Item number 6, 22R4174, a resolution by Councilmember Jason Winston to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to make the intersection of Ormond Street Southeast and Fraser Street Southeast an always stop control intersection, to request that the Atlanta Department of Transportation install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes. Item number 8, 22R4177, a resolution by Councilmember Mary Norwood requesting the mayor or his designee to make the intersection of Margaret Mitchell Drive Northwest and Moores Mill Road Northwest an always stop control intersection, to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes. Item number 13, 22R4187, a resolution by Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari requesting the mayor or his designee to make the intersection of May Avenue Southeast and Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast an always stop control intersection, to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes. Item number 14, 22R4188, a resolution by Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari requesting the mayor or his designee to make the intersection of Milton Place Southeast and Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast an always stop control intersection, to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersections and for other purposes. And lastly, item number 15, 22R4189, a resolution by Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari as amended by Transportation Committee requesting the mayor or his designee to make the intersections of Stokeswood Avenue Southeast and Pendleton Street Southeast an always stop control intersection, to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersections and for other purposes.
Thank you. I will move to approve, barring no comment from ATL DOT, which I see none. I will assume tacit approval. Second by Lewis. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. These items are found favorable. This takes us to item number 7, 22R4175, a resolution by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to enter into an encroachment agreement with Heritage Outdoor Media for the installation of an advertising sign at the corner of Mitchell Street Southwest and Forsyth Street Southwest into the right-of-way located at 201 Mitchell Street Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia 30303, and for other purposes. And the department requests that this item be held.
Move to hold. Second by Westmoreland. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is held. This takes us to item number 9, 22R4179, a resolution by Councilmember Dustin Hillis authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for a fiscal year 2022 U.S. Department of Transportation Bridge Improvement Program grant in the amount not to exceed $32 million for the design and construction of the Marietta Road Bridge and Marietta Boulevard Bridge project and for other purposes. And Mr. Chair, there's a substitute. The substitute revises some language in the legislation.
Motion to bring forward the substitute, second by Westmoreland. Please open the vote on the motion to bring forward the substitute.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item has been substituted.
Motion to approve. Second by Westmoreland. Please open the vote on the motion to approve as substituted.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable on substitute. Item number 10, 22R4180, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis requesting the mayor or his designee to install traffic calming devices on Forest Park Road Southwest from Oakshire Way Southeast to Conley Road Southeast and for other purposes.
Any comment from ATL DOT? Barring none, I will move to approve.
Second.
Second by Waits. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Item number 11, 22R4181, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis requesting the mayor or his designee to install traffic calming devices on Sylvan Road Southwest from Victory Drive Southwest to Astor Avenue Southwest and for other purposes. And the department requested that this item be held.
Motion to hold by Lewis, second by Faroki. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is held. Item number 12, 22R4182, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis requesting the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install flashing beacons on the off-ramp of Georgia 166 and Lakewood Avenue Southwest and for other purposes.
Mr. Lewis, your paper. Would you like to make a motion on it? Yeah. Motion to approve by Lewis, second by Faroki. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. The next item is item number 16, 22R4233, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for, accept, and implement all grant funds and programs from all state and federal agencies and execute any documents associated with such grants for projects at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport during the federal fiscal year 2023 and for other purposes.
Mr. Bayadari.
This is to seek authorization to apply for, accept, and execute grant on behalf of the Department of Aviation and City of Atlanta. A routine annual request.
Motion to approve by Juan, had a second by Westmoreland. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote vote is closed. 6 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Mr. Chair, the department requests to take items number 17, 19, and 22 together as a block. These are legislative items supplementing task order funds.
Please do.
Item number 17, 22R 4234, a resolution by Transportation Committee supplementing a joint task order fund for fiscal year 2023 in the amount not to exceed $600,000 for use under 3 small architectural and engineering design services contracts for services at Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport. All services will be charged to and paid from the account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. Item number 19, 22R 4236, a resolution by Transportation Committee supplementing a joint task order fund for the use under 4 noise insulation program miscellaneous properties contracts as listed herein for services at Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport in the amount not to exceed $1,200,000.00. All services will be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes. Lastly, item number 22, 22R 4239, a resolution by Transportation Committee supplementing a joint task order fund for fiscal year 2023 in the amount not to exceed $43,674,102.00 for use under 5 architectural and engineering design services contracts for services at Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport. All services will be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Mr. Bayadari.
These are our task order. We're supplementing fiscal year 23 funding to these task order to continue design work or to execute work per our planned CIP program.
Great. I'll move to approve. Second by Juan. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 6 yeas, 0 nays. These items are favorable. This takes us to item number 18, 22R 4235, a resolution by Transportation Committee to fund the next phase of project number FC 10751, the Plain Tunnel West extension vehicles at Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport, with Bombardier Transportation Holdings USA Incorporated for the design and purchase of 20 new plane train vehicles in the amount not to exceed $75,600,000.00. All services will be charged to and paid from the account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Mr. Bayadari.
It's time to start our replacement for our older fleet. We have 49 cars that are that have over somewhere between 800,000 and a million plus mile. Of those, 13 of those cars have over 1 million mile, and it's time to start a multi-year replacement of those 49 cars.
How long will that take?
So it'll probably take us between 3 and 5 years to replace all 49 cars.
And are the cars identical, or they'll be given how long these cars have been in service is a whole different technology and model, and does it require anything else other than replacing the cars?
So it's a whole different version or model of the car. So what we did is earlier in the year we had approval for $9 million for design work. So we'll use the same design. 14 new cars are in production that this body approved for the extension. So those cars are in production. The next 20 cars we'll order is going to be the same model. So so the design is done, the new technology is in place. It's just now the manufacturing of these cars.
And there'll be no interruption in service.
No interruption of services.
Can you mix and match them as the new ones come in?
So we will couple the new car as a 4-car couple to keep them separate with the older cars.
Great. Terrific. I'll move to approve. Second by Juan. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Item number 20, 22R 4237, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute agreements and establish a joint task order fund for RPC 1220260, managing general contractor services at Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport, with contracts listed herein, in an initial amount not to exceed $4 million.00. All services will be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and accounts numbers listed herein and for other purposes. And Mr. Chair, this item needs to be amended to attach the IPO report.
Motion to amend attached to IPA report by Juan, second by Dozier. Please open the vote on the motion to amend.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item has been amended.
All right, I will move to approve. Second by Overstreet. Can you please open the vote?
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable as amended. Item number 21, 22R4238, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to issue task order numbers FC10641E-134 and FC10641E-135 for contract FC10640E job order contracting services with F.H. Paschen and S.N. Nielsen and Associates LLC on behalf of the Department of Aviation for domestic terminal canopy repairs and facilities maintenance building 2 bird deterrent installation for $115,562.29 and $34,724.63 respectively, in the amount not to exceed $150,286.92. All contract work will be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Mr. Bayadari.
Our warranty is coming to an end for the canopy, and then we have bird problems that are roosting in some areas. And this is a city job order contracting services, and we want to use the small services to provide some of this O&M to our canopy and help us with bird mitigations.
I will second. You can open the. I'm curious. What does bird mitigation mean?
We will take away their habitat in that we will install spikes and stuff on the roosting areas to prevent them from coming in there and to roost.
Yeah, so it looks like an attractive spot to build a house if I was a bird. So it doesn't surprise me. The vote should be open. Motion by Juan, second by Faroki.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. Item number 23, 22R4240, a resolution by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a utility relocation agreement with the Georgia Power Company for the removal, relocation, or adjustment of electrical and communication facilities owned by the Georgia Power Company for the Cascade Complete Street Project on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation, to authorize the Chief Financial Officer to remit payment to Georgia Power Company in the amount not to exceed $331.0 and for other purposes.
A motion approved by Overstreet, a second by Juan. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. And our last item for today, item number 24, 22R4241, a resolution by Transportation Committee on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to correct resolution number 19R4332, adopted by the Atlanta City Council on August 19, 2019, and approved by the mayor on August 20th, 2019, by adding an additional funding source, all other parts of the legislation to remain unchanged and for other purposes.
Councilmember Juan.
Good morning.
And please introduce yourself for folks who are watching.
Jessica Fulton, Deputy Commissioner, Capital Projects, ATL DOT.
So can you tell us about this paper, and then maybe you'll answer my question before I ask it?
Okay. This paper is for us to actually add an additional funding stream, which will be our transportation fund, to cover the cost incurred by this project. The project was completed and originally had CDBG funding, but that funding has now expired, so we're replacing it with this funding.
Okay, all right, so that kind of starts getting to what I want to ask about. So there was originally CDBG funding of about $300,000 that was contemplated for this project, but it expired, so what happened?
The project had extensive right-of-way needs where we could not reach an agreement with the property owner. We are still in negotiations with that owner. The property was never condemned, so we're having to cover the cost now.
So, but that process is still going.
That is correct.
Will those negotiations and the project scope change the original estimate or project budget? And the reason for my question is this is something that was set in 2019, and here we are 3 years later, and I'm kind of curious as to what else may have changed, and if this is premature in terms of do we need to get all that finalized so that we know the final project budget before allocating sources of funding?
That should not affect the price and amount that is for this invoice. That should not be changed. We
Okay.
still have funding set aside to cover any additional right-of-way costs
Okay.
that may occur.
So there was a budget and a funding source already in place for that. That should
is
cover it.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
I will move to approve. Second by Westmoreland. Please open the vote.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 7 yeas, 0 nays. This item is favorable. And Mr. Chair, that concludes
Thank
our
you.
legislative items for today.
Can I ask another question? The CDBG funds, we didn't lose those, did we? Did they go to another project?
Councilmember Juan, you're recognized.
I'm sorry?
They will return to the grants department, so I'm not sure if they're going to utilize them on another project.
Can I just ask our staff just to put a follow-up on that? I just want to make sure that we didn't end up losing those funds because of the timing.
Well, that brings us to the close of today's Transportation Committee meeting. Barring any final reflections from the committee, we are adjourned. Thank you all. Up. Councilmember Overstreet has an announcement.
Yeah, I really want to thank our interim Commissioner of ATL DOT, Commissioner Bomar, for coming last Saturday to Adams Park area, Boulevard Granada. And I went back this week to look to see if any of the changes have taken place that we talked about while we were there, and they've all taken place. So I just want to thank you for that. I think that the tactical sidewalk looks absolutely beautiful, like I stated that day. And now it not only looks beautiful, but it's actually usable for those 13 homes. Like, you did a great job of mitigating that situation, and thank you. Thank you to the entire ATL DLT team. And they were on hand also. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Overstreet. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Adjourned.